This is Alpha Niner calling Science Station Hermes.
Alpha Niner, this is Science Station Hermes. We read 555.
Roger, Hermes. All clear. Sector Gamma Delta 4. Request clearance for landing.
That's Roger, Alpha Niner. You are cleared for landing. Switch to station control.
Switching to station control. Synced and locked.
Alpha Niner, be advised Zulu Command once you're ready for debriefing.
Roger, Control.
Sir, reading an Terran battlecruiser in Sector 7.
Alert status. Clear weapon interlocks. Alert Zulu Command to our situation.
Alpha Niner, scramble.
Roger, Control.
Moving into attack position, beginning my run now.
Sir, we lost Alpha 9. Divert full power to shields. Scramble already cracked. Shields down to 80%, sir. Stay on those shields. I need full power. Shields down to 60%. 50% and dropping. Launch emergency distress beacon now.
Yes. Master of Orion 2, Battle of Antares. I thought I'd do this today since I did Master of Orion, what I'm calling Master of Orion 0, yesterday. So I thought, hey, I'm going to show you where the fandom started for me, which is Master of Orion 2, the Battle at Antares. Apparently it's a multiplayer game. I've never tried it on multiplayer, but the various people who have been asking me to go and play multiplayer games so they can join in a multiplayer game for me, or with me, and then we can have multiplayer games going up on my channel. Master of Orion 2, multiplayer, try it if you really want to play a game from the 90s. Still good. Anyway, I'll show you what it's all about. I already had to start a game in order to lower the volume, because the volume you can't actually control. You can see there's no actual controls here. And so yeah, I've kind of had to go in and already and do new game in order to actually set the sound controls. So I'll go into a brand new one. Difficulty, tutor, medium, average, 5 players and average. So I think normally you can't have a race. I'm just going to go, let's see if it'll let me go on here. Yeah, will it let me? It will. Excellent. Okay. I will just go, yeah, and I'll pop out and back in again. No, I'll start a new game. Abandon this, start you on, yes. Right, so back here. So you've got various difficulty: tutor, easy, average, hard, and impossible. Various different galaxy sizes. You've got medium, large, huge, and small. The newer one, you've only got medium and large at the moment. They might put more in, I don't know. I always play on huge. Galaxy age, average, which is basically what we've got at the moment, 13 billion years old. On organic rich, which means it's going to be an older universe, so you have a lot more organic planets, a lot more planets that like in the Gaia, Terra, and desert biomes. Mineral rich, which means you're going to have a lot more barren and irradiated planets. You know, average is a good one to go with. Number of players in the game, all up to 8 players. 5 is a fairly good average. And tech level, post warp, advanced, pre-warp, or average. So average basically gives you a few little starty bits, and you get a couple of, I think you get a couple of scouts and a frigate. Post-warp I think is the similar. Advanced gives you a couple of colonies as well as some ships and some frigates. Pre-warp is literally that. You've yet to discover warp drives or go into space at all. So I'm going to do a quick pre-warp one. I have tactical combat on, random events on, and the Antarans will attack at random intervals. So here's the various different races, and some of these you will have seen in the other one. For example, I was going with the Cylons. This is what the Cylons look like here. They don't look as cheerful, but they still got the large heads and the funny domey things in the top there. And then there's the Bullrathi. They look a lot more carapaced, I suppose you could say, rather than kind of the ones you had before in Master of Orion 1 or Master of Orion 0. The Mercian were there as well, so you've got Mercian. There's the Meklar when they eventually come through, and the Alkari. I think the Alkari have changed the most. The Alkari basically look like pterodactyls here, so I've not played them in a new one yet. The Darloks are supposed to be like the spies. Illyrians, I don't think I saw anything to do with the Illyrians turning up in the new one. Nolams, they're traders, I think. I think they're special, yeah, the expert traders. They're basically like your Ferengi in Star Trek. Silicoids, I always love silicoids because they don't eat organic materials. They are a geode-based life form. Humans are obviously humans, and apparently we're all bald. Trilarians are water-based species, so they're better habiting on aqua worlds. Clacons are the insects, and everyone else you pretty much know about. Oh yeah, there's a Sakura there as well. Sakura have changed a little bit, but we're gonna go custom, and we're gonna choose the Meklars there. So this may be similar to how it's going to be on Master of Orion 0 when they finish it and it comes out of early access. We may have this on it because it did have the option for custom race. It'll probably be laid out differently, but this is how it operated in this style. So you've got various different options. You can take whatever you like. You can only take up to 10 points. It says in the bottom there, I can only take up to 10 points. If I don't take any, then I get 200% score because I'll be at a severe disadvantage to other species. I'll basically be no specializations, no penalties, but no specializations, so I'll be really pretty basic, and everyone else will have a bonus over me in one particular field or another. I can, if I want, add a whole bunch of these. I think you can only take up to minus 10, I think. Yeah, there we are. So you can take up to minus 10 to give you more bonus points to play with if you want to. This is not a good pick that I've done here. I've literally just picked the first three, which is my citizens only get half growth rate and half farming and -1 production on all my planets, or -1 production per unit, which basically means that I would be absolutely crap at doing anything other than science. So let's just take those off of there and there and there, and let's see. So what do I want? I want Lithivore. And that's all my points used up. Those I always take it. Whenever I play Master of Orion 2, I always take the war because it basically means I can land on anywhere and it doesn't bother me because I don't have to worry about putting farming structures down or terraforming planets because I can land anywhere I want. Now, Government's always a fun one as well, because I haven't actually found any major problems with them. Feudal governments are ruled by powerful families similar to medieval Europe. Due to the fragmented and warlike nature, they receive certain benefits and penalties. Ship costs are reduced. Planets suffer minus 20% morale penalty unless they have a marine or armed barracks. Okay, so people are not happy unless you have marines. All research generated by scientists is reduced by half. So you're slow on science. It takes a while to assimilate cultures, and instantly assimilate when conquered by another race. So it takes you a while to assimilate other people, but if one of your places is taken over, then it's gone instantly, and you have to then go through the lengthy process of getting it back. Dictatorship. Defensive agents receive plus 10 bonus, so spies are slightly better. Minus 20% morale unless you have marines, and again the population rate. So that is basically better than being feudal. You don't get the negative science or assimilation problems. So might as well stick with dictatorship. Ship defense, ship attack, spying, money, research. You see, now taking lithivore, I cannot take the negative from farming over here. It says lithivores may not select food production bonuses or penalties. So it's a smart game, you see. Otherwise you just take, oh, I'll just take 3 extra points from having half food production and I don't eat food. So yeah, you can't do that. I could take other stuff on here, like low G world. Weaker and suffer penalties when in combat on worlds that aren't low G. Poor home worlds, yeah, you're not going to produce a lot on them. It doesn't really give you a lot of points anyway to play with. Uncreative, it's not good, it only gives you a basic, but I think for this I'll go uncreative, just so I only get kind of a random selection of science every turn, so I can't actually choose what I want my advancement to be, it will just tell me. Warlords. All their crews function 1 level of experience higher than normal, and the crews have potential to eventually become ultra elites. Warlords double the rate at which marines and tanks are built, and allow barracks to support twice the number of troops. Yeah, I'll take a warlord. And I will be the Decepticons. Well, I think Cog Prime is fine. Cog Prime. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to just delete the little bit on there and change it, but Cog Prime, there we are. And I will have purple. And here we are, this is a huge planet, a huge galaxy, and Cybertron. Cybertron. Oh, there we are, Cybertron. Hey! And I'm all the way over here next to a black hole. Fantastic. And this is my system. So this is my my planet, and I've got 4 others here. Gastron, I can't have it yet, and the other ones I can just go over: abundant, poor, rich. So that's probably the first one I go to. So click on the planet and we go into our screen. So here we have what we've got. We've got some housing over here, got a marine barracks, and we got our capital building. Nobody's doing farming because we can't farm. Everyone's in production or science. This is basically tells you how many you're doing. Each large one is 10, so I've got 12 science, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 production. I would have 12 production, but 3 of them are blocked out and turned into pollution because of the problems with overproduction. And I can build trade goods or housing. So I'll take housing. In fact, I'll stick on auto build. Well, actually, colony base. If I can put down a colony base, that means I can start getting some stuff off the rich world. So we'll do that. Look at that. 23 turns to get that. Do I have any leaders? I don't have any leaders. Alright, and like the other one, then we just... I'm getting to go into science, so... I'll put uncreative on, but it's decided to give me the options. So this is what the older style of science looked like. It's basically, here you are, this is the names of everything, what do you want? I'm going to take shields, because everybody needs shields. And just sit and hit the turn button. You can see up here you've got, that's my money. Money's going up by 5 credits a turn. I've got 8 commander control. I've got no spare food. I've got no spare frigates, and it's 21 turns for my science, which is roughly how many turns it's going to be until I get my star base out. Ooh. Commander Aquasarius, the Trilarian Navigator. He offers to join you for 90 BC now and 1 BC a turn. Do you hire him? Let's see. He's Helmsman, Navigator, and he's got weapons. So Helmsman, what does that give me? Increase the defensive bonus of the ship by 5, so you get plus 5 defense. Allows the company ships to ignore movement restrictions moving through a nebula or a black hole, and raises the speed of all ships by 1, so slightly faster ships. And weaponry increases attack bonus. So I've basically got defense bonus of 5, attack bonus of 5, and I've got faster ships. So I shall, yeah, I'm going to hire him, because only 1 BC a turn, I can afford that. Yes, you are hired. I'm going to stick you on a ship because I don't have any, because I'm pre-warp civilization. Colony base, here we are. Where do we want to go? Abundant, rich, or poor? So you can see here, unlike the other one, the more turns you got, these planets actually do go around on their rotations. So I'm going to stick down here on the rich planet. And yeah, it doesn't look as beautiful when you're landing, but you know, this is like 20 years plus old, so yeah. Master of Orion 3, I'll have you know, actually only came out in like 2000 when I was at college. This was mid 90s, I think, maybe early 90s, so I was very young when this came out. Cybertron Prime has been colonized. My people are not happy because they don't have a barracks. So let's stick a barracks in. And ooh, yeah, stick a star base on as well, and then stick on auto build. Cybertron finished construction of colony base. Yeah, you can just watch the planets rotate round on their orbital paths. Class 1 shields have been developed. Thank you. So, Class 1 shields absorbs 5 times the ship's size in damage before failing, with each attack reduced by 1 point of damage. So, strength 3, well, a weapon does 10 damage, say, hits the shields of a ship that has 30 hull points on it. That attack goes down to 9 damage, and that 9 gets subtracted from the shields. As it's not 5 times the armor value, those shields just take damage. If they continue to pound that particular facing, then eventually it will go down, but it does have regeneration on it. So if you leave it alone for long enough, the shield will come back. Biospheres, I don't think you need them. Oh, it just gives me 2 million. So I could take that because it gives me more people on the planet. Let's get laser. Let's get laser rifles. 50 research points. Administrator Gallus, the financial leader, offers to join you for 30 BC now, 1 BC a turn, and he gives me a 10% bonus to colony income. I shall take you, thank you. onto the officer pool and just go onto Cybertron here and assign you as the administrator for the Cybertron system. So we've still only got one there, but there we are. See, now that he's working, my income here has boosted up. And you see up here, I'm now on 13 a turn instead of like 6. Speaking of which, I should probably build a couple more bases. What have we got here? Okay, so that's now equal. Let's build out to colony bases. Take off some trade goods. I'm still on more than I was before. Laser cannons, 1 to 4 points of damage modification. Auto fire, armor piercing, heavy mount. Okay, so that's ship-based laser cannon. Oh, I discovered all of them. Okay, I've got laser rifles as well. Plus 5 damage. And space scanners. See now here's where we get the uncreative part coming in. Is fusion physics. I can normally get fusion beam and fusion rifle, and I think fusion drive. And so here I'm only limited to fusion beam. However, I'm going to get nuclear fission, so I can get a nuclear drive going, and I can start making some starships. Cybertron Prime for his construction and marine barracks. Commander Sparky, the Mech-class Cybernaut. He offers to join me 100 BC now, 1 BC a turn, bringing the knowledge of the following: advanced damage control. Now, I might not be able to research advanced damage control, so getting this is very, very nice. Ordnance, increase maximum damage of a ship by 5. I think that may only affect missiles. Engineer, increase restoration rates of its ship's shields by 3%, as well as repairing all damage after a battle. Let's have you, because I would like advanced damage repair, thank you, and I can afford you just. Administrator Uro, 60 BC now and 1 BC a turn. Plus 5 research points per turn. And growth rate of all planets in the system by 15%. Oh, that's nice. But I don't know if I'm actually going to do a research colony. That's going to knock my BC down to plus 4. Yeah, why not? I'll take it. We now have freighters that look very odd. Transport ships. So freighters, basically, you don't man them. You just produce groups of freighters, and then each time a colony requires something to be shipped from one to another, normally food, you have one of your freighters used up in order to transport that food. It doesn't matter where in the universe it's being transferred from or to, it only takes one freighter and it's instant, so yeah. Nuclear bombs and a nuclear drive. I now have interstellar travel. Now let's get some chemistry going. Actually here, only it's going to take about 5 turns to get that, because I've now advanced, got so many extra people down here that I'm getting more science. So it's not going to take me as long. 70%, there we are. Extended fuel tanks, so I can now build scouts so I can go faster on there. Got nuclear missiles. I have fuel cells which are required to actually allow a ship to go anywhere. And I have titanium armor, which is the basic armor of ships. And cold fusion. Now this should put me up into space then, because this is what you need. Colony ships, outpost ships, transports. Outpost ships, well, transports basically are troop transports. Outpost ships allow you to stick outposts on planets. And colony ships allow you to put colonies on planets. If you put a colony ship on a planet that's already got an outpost, you get a marine barracks for 3. So you are again roughly 7 turns. 6, 5. Oh, colony base. Poor low gravity. Stick it on the abundant planet. That's fine. There we go. And let's have you auto building, but have a marine barracks down first. And yeah, these are my various starships, so I can really build Scout, the Gatherer 8, and the Ravager 5. Now, as you see, there's not a lot on them. Scout's got a nuclear bomb. That's it. That's all it's got. It basically flies along, drops a bomb, and then goes home. But they are cheap, and so they can be useful for just slapping on a fleet of them and just go and bomb other people's planets. Gatherer's got 2 laser cannons, so we can actually do something in a fight, but can't do much else. Ravager, 1 heavy laser cannon, 2 regular laser cannons, and 1 nuclear bomb. Heavy laser cannon's got a longer range and does more damage than a standard laser cannon. That is an advanced thing, and I will get to that when I start building ships. Cybertron finished that, excellent. And we now have colony ships and outposts and transports. And here we are. Now we're at literally, this is the uncreative tree. So this is one thing for everything, and that's what you get. Electronic computers, I think, are good. Yeah, better chance to hit. Gyro destabilizers. Oh, those I think are fun. Yeah, gyro destabilizers are fun because it costs movement points in order to turn ship in tactical combat, and if you have an enemy ship that is very, very slow and you slap up to it and whack it with a gyro destabilizer, then it's got to use up its movement points in order to turn around in order to get your ship back into the field of fire of its guns. If it has light mounts or 360 degree mounts, then that kind of gets rid of that, but it is a very nice little piece of tech to have. And I'll go for 3 more minutes. GNN, where news comes first. Are you going to tell me anything, GNN man? Here we are. Workers in the Klakon Empire discovered a previously unknown deposit of minerals on Colodan, which improved the mineral classification from that planet from rich to ultra rich. So they now got a bonus. Basically, random event, the Klakons now have a bonus to production on their homeworld. And you can see around 35 turns for me to get my gyro destabilizers. Colony base. Still colony base on the Cybertron 3. So I'm not going to get much out of Cybertron 3. I'll get a little bit of coins. That's about it. Marine barracks and auto build. Because I could go and sort of manually build on these things, but you know, I don't need to on this kind of showing you how the system works. Okay, auto build trade goods, so we're up to producing more money. Doubt anything's gonna happen. Oh, and captain gained a level. Cybertron finished construction marine barracks. I think, does it actually have turn submarine? There we are. Okay, so that's actually just what happened on that turn. There's nothing else there. I can't view the previous turn, but yeah, I think my pilot got a level up from not doing anything. So just have to wait for these to all spin around. Cybertron did some stuff. There we are. Gyro destabilizers. Cool. Anti-missile rockets. Now I remember anti-missile rockets not actually being that useful. you would launch a whole bunch, unless you had a lot, you would launch them off, and it might take out a couple of missiles, and it's like, not that good. Yeah, see, 85 chance to hit is 85%, minus 5% per square distance. So if a missile is coming from way off and you launch your anti-missiles, you're probably not going to do anything. You have to wait until that missile is right up in your face before firing. So I just generally try and rely on heavier armor and shields in order to dissipate it. So let's get ourselves a fusion beam. And just get a few more turns. Financial leader's gained a level, so he's now better. Director Alice the Gifted. Director Alice also joined 200 BC into a turn. Environmentalist means I get 20% less pollution. Medicine 30% greater growth of my colonies. And spiritual leader I think is morale. Yeah. He's expensive, and I think I'll reject because I don't actually have a second colony yet. And now he's going to sit in my pool and wait for me to buy him later. Let's have a level up. Fusion beam. Okay, so that now does 2 to 6 damage. And we'll go with a Space Academy. So, if I go to Cybertron now, and we'll go to, what's on rich, that's abundant, let's go to our abundant one, because it's got everyone on it, and let's go and, oh yeah, because we've got a starbase we can actually build some of these bigger ships. So let's design the Tormentor class. That's a battleship. And yes, I can build battleships from the start. I just need a starbase and that's it. I don't have any special systems, so that's what it's saying. No special systems can be added. And it's got me my class 1 shield straight off. No computers on there. I've got plus 35 beam defense, 50 armor, and 50 structure. So you see that 20 strength and shield and 1 damage point blocked. So I've got missiles, lasers, and bombs. That's heavy on their HP. So if I remove all of these, there we go, and we'll let's have that design, and we shall call it the Tormentor 1. And let's take a gyro destabilizer in it. Let's see. So I can 360 degree. I can't change the arc of that. So 1 gyro destabilizer on there. Missiles take up a lot of space, and as you can see down here, missiles, you have the amount of shots you can get off it. If I put it down to 2, so basically I have a missile rack that can only fire 2 rounds of missiles. It has 10 space. 5 rounds of missiles takes up 20 space, and that's per missile. So depending on if you think you're going to be lasting a very long time in fights, you slap on shot times 40, times 20, so that means you get 20 rounds out of your missiles. But in my experience, unless you're actually taking on the Antares and the home system, shot times 5 is the most you'll ever need, because most guys will be down before that. So let's stick that on there, and we'll say how much space have I got? Space for 115. Ooh, okay, so I have 3 missiles. And a fusion beam. Now here we go, here's the mounts. So because it's a directional weapon rather than a 360 degree weapon, I can have a forward mount, an extended forward mount, a extended back mount, a standard back mount, or a 360 degree mount, each of which, as you can see there, changes the cost and space. So the cheapest is like a back or forward mount, which gives you 90 degrees back or forward. Generally people don't, in my experience, you don't put anything on back mount unless you're going to be using a ship that flies around a lot. Point defense lowers the space and cost, but also the damage and range, I think, and heavy mount basically does the opposite. Yeah, heavy mount weapons inflicting 1.5 times normal damage, double the base space and cost, cannot fire at missiles or fighters. Point defense, half normal amount, inflicts only half damage, effective range is doubled for purposes of computing energy dissipation and to hit penalties. Point defense weapons have plus 25 bonus to hit. Finally, point defense weapons will always hit just before a missile hits the ship or fighters engage it if the point defense weapon has not fired. So let's stick on 4 fusion beams, and oh yeah, here's other ones you can get. Generally, the more you go down a particular route of science, the more options you get down here. So you've got no range dissipation, which means you don't lose damage the further away you're hitting. Armor piercing goes through armor. Continuous is if you use it and you fire over multiple turns at the same target, you get a bonus to hit. That's basically like the Star Trek phasers. Basically, your phaser beam just comes out. That's a continual weapon, rather than the Star Wars bolts that generally get fired out of the turbo lasers. So if I put point defense and on piercing or no range dissipation. Yeah, let's stick no range dissipation on there just because it makes the numbers even, and go blah 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 blah. There we are. So the Tormentor Mark 1, gyro destabilizer, 3 nuclear missiles, 4 fusion beams and 7 point defense, and no range reduction laser cannons. Build that sucker. Build the Tormentor 1. And while we're at it, you're not doing anything either. You can build a outpost ship. And we'll just get these out of the way. Of course, 37 minutes already, okay. Gained level, nice. We now have space academies, so I'll get +1 level to my starting ships, makes them better. Fusion drive, why not? We have an outpost ship. And here we are, a tiny little mark up there is my fleet. And so I can tell it where to go. Now, because my fuel pods, I only have a limited range. So I can go here, here, or here. Let's go to the Red Star. Come on. There we go. Finish building barracks. Director Kyrus, the Cylon scientist. Director Kyrus is officer 200 BC and 2 BC a turn. Science leader and researcher. So he not only gives me 15 research points a turn himself, but he also gives me +30. I will hire you because I want the extra research. Now here we are. So I now have an outpost. I can stick it down on that one. There we are. This system is now an outpost of my empire. And that is how you play Master of Orion 2. So I'm sure you can see from Master of Orion 0 there have been a lot of cues taken from this. I admittedly didn't get very far into it because it's kind of just a basic starting off. This is how you do this and that and the other. It's not as graphical, it's not as showy, but I hope at least this is kind of something where you can see the underlying mechanics that went into Master of Orion 0. But yeah, that's enough for me for one day. Tomorrow I will probably be doing more of the Elliot Ness, because I've been asked to. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more Master of Orion 2 or Master of Orion 0, potentially even Master of Orion 0 multiplayer if we can get it working, otherwise it's multiplayer on this, I'll see what I can do. But until then, thank you all for watching and good night.